Tax Until You Drop Wisdom, the Obama administration re-released its transportation funding plan. Now, let me tell you, this thing is less appetizing than cat food. It's a big piece of legislation. Is it with the you have to pass the bill to know what's in it crowd? Nobody is even reading this thing. And the White House, for the second time in a year, has proposed new tolls on interstate highways across the nation, interstate lanes that are now open to all as freeways. Now, you have to understand, and I've said this several times, you've already paid for the interstates. You've already been taxed to pay for these highways. You're already taxed, gasoline tax and other taxes, to pay for their upkeep. You've already paid for these. You paid for them, we own them. But no, now what they want to do is Obama wants to take them from freeways to payways. His plan would lift a long-standing ban on tolling existing interstate lanes. So you think about it. You're driving on 95, 85, Route 20, Route 40, Route 75, and you're paying tolls no matter where you go. On highways, you and your parents and your associates, your friends have already paid for. Right? Let's just find another way to get more money. Now, right now you can only do that under federal pilot programs that grant specific exemptions. Now, Virginia has one. It's how former Governor Bob McDonnell tried to toll I-95. He couldn't because the public backlash from people like you and I and the small business community and elected leaders went bananas. Now, the General Assembly in 2013 stopped that plan cold in the sand. But like Virginia, North Carolina, Missouri also have slots in the federal tolling pilot program. I mean, I just want you to get a feel of what the federal government does behind your back. The federal pilot tolling program. And guess what? They haven't put tolls on their interstates either. Just as in Virginia, legislators in those states took action to block new tolls. Why? Because the people don't want them. That's because once they learned about how bad tolling existing interstates is, they said, hell no. And the public realizes that tolls are a pass-the-buck way for the federal government to shirk its duty to fund roads and turn it back to the states. They'd rather take the money and spend it to fly illegal immigrant children on your dime from Central America into the U.S. and then feed them and clothe them instead of funding your roads, which you've already paid for, which your tax dollars are supposed to go to. Now, the public realizes tolling existing interstates is a double taxation on roads already paid for with our tax dollars. This is what we really have to understand, because tolling interstates is just another way for the federal government to raise your taxes. And they'll spin it and they'll call it something else. They'll say the money is going to be earmarked. It's a lockbox. However they do it, at the end of the day, you're going to get taxed and they'll never go away. So then if you don't want to pay the tolls, you're going to have to be looking at like you're driving in 1952 trying to find the back way. Okay? That's what's going to happen. 64 will be tolled. Everything. You're not going to be able to get on a highway without paying a toll. So the public, we know that tolls are the collection and the administration is often turned over to bureaucrats. First of all, you only get a fraction of this. As soon as these get in, they'll be unionized across America, and a portion of that money is going to go for administrative and other bureaucratic cost. Stupid. Now, the public record is filled with stories of faulty toll billing, the horrors ordinary citizens have to go through every day to straighten it out. If you've ever tried to fight off an easy pass charge, I mean, good luck with that. It's just like these red light cameras. It goes from $50. They mail it to the wrong person. You forget to pay it. All of a sudden, it's $1,000. And if you don't pay it, they impound your vehicle. The public record also illustrates how inefficient tolls are as a way to pay for roads, especially when profiteering road builders are involved. You talk about crony capitalism and the oligopoly economy that we have. All these PPPs, everybody gets rich. The taxpayer gets fleeced. That's us. And tolls hurt working people. If you're CEO of X company and you're making $50 million, $5 in tolls on I-95 or I-64 is not going to change your lifestyle. But if you're working week to week, paycheck to paycheck, this makes a difference, right? That's the bottom line. I mean, we've seen this over and over. And if you live in Southeast Virginia, you know about the reviled 58-year term of these tolls on the downtown and midtown tunnel. Drivers now pay escalating tolls on both tunnels, even though they're only getting one new tunnel. I mean, the whole thing is a ripoff. And the company behind it, the private company, East River Crossing, is guaranteed a profit no matter what happens. Why not be involved in that? You think about the number of people that had their hand in the till and got rich on that deal. Now, that could be a situation that's all over Virginia and the country. If the Obama administration gets its way with this toll plan, Congress didn't do anything about it the last time. But there are supporters of this concept now on both sides of the aisle because they see it as a way for Obama and the federal government to get a new tax. So let me ask you, do you want tolls on I-95, I-64, I-81, and the rest of the national interstate system? Because that's what the Obama plan wants to do. The toll battle is being fought locally in states across the country, in Colorado, in Connecticut, where Governor Malloy has floated the idea of reviving highway tolls there, in Missouri, where Governor Nixon has proposed tolls on Interstate 70, in Ohio and Kentucky, where Governor Kasich and Governor Beshear jointly backed new tolls on a key Ohio River crossing. Texas, where a toll road explosion under Governor Perry has inspired citizen backlash. Loyal listeners to my show may recall that we recently hosted Texas State Senator Scott Sanford on our show. He told us about how toll rolls have now overtaken Texas and how citizens and legislators are now fighting against that tide. I stand with them. I reject the attempts to put tolls on open roads, restricting mobility and commerce and disguising it for what it is, which is a tax. The pioneer spirit of this country is about the freedom to move. And do you really want government to put financial barriers in the way of that? Tolling existing interstates is going to increase commercial freight, which means higher prices at the register for shoppers. It's going to lead to more traffic on toll roads, more road wear and tear that has to be repaired, dangerous delays that could be the difference between life and death when someone has an emergency. The list goes on. More toll-induced traffic slows the response time of rescue workers. It's just a bad idea. Now, I don't do a lot of these rants, but I'm doing this one so that you get your antenna up in Virginia. It's kind of like get your spidey sense up. The federal government wants to toll interstates. If they can break the firewall and get these done, think about what they've created. A brand new national tax system. brand new, that you can't escape. Right? But they're not going to call it a tax increase. What they're going to call it is tolling to better your experience driving. That's what they're going to call it. That's where the big lie comes in. You give the federal government another opportunity to basically install another national tax that restricts your freedom of traveling on roads you've already paid for with your hard-earned dollars. It will grow and grow and grow. And every time they got a shortfall for something or they need something, they're going to add a toll. Or you're not going to be able to do a darn thing about it. Now, thankfully, there's a way to stand against the toll trollers. And that's the Alliance for Toll-Free Interstates. This is a diverse coalition leading the charge. I strongly encourage you to go online, go to www.tollfreeinterstates.com. tollfreeinterstates.com. Sign their petition to get involved. That's tollfreeinterstates.com. I signed the Alliance petition, and you should too. The only thing these politicians understand is the potential of getting thrown out of office. The only thing they respond to is when they get a bunch of mail or petitions or letters or phone calls coming in and saying, if you do this, there will be a backlash. This is under the radar screen. That's why I've spent an entire segment on it. So I'm sounding the alarm bells. This is under everybody's radar screen. They'll package it. It'll sneak through Congress. You'll never see it coming. You'll get up one day, and you're not going to go from point A to point B without paying what is going to amount to a brand new federal tax that will grow and grow and grow and never go away. That's the bottom line. Go to tollfreeinterstates.com, tollfreeinterstates.com, sign the petition, get involved. Normally, we're complaining about something after the fact or when it's on the cusp of happening. We're way out in front of this because if there's anybody that understands the horrors of tolling and what it does to your pocketbook and the economy, it's those of us in Southeast Virginia that saw with their own eyes the downtown and midtown tunnel toll deal that is a disaster for commerce in the state, and the tolls keep going up, and you can't do a darn thing about it because that slipped by us when it was happening. Captain Chaos, Sean Connaughton, Bob McDonnell pulled a fast one. Everybody got rich in this deal except that working man or woman who has to travel from point A to point B. And these tolls are going to keep going up. So go to tollfreeinterstates.com. This is the John Fredericks Show.